Welcome back to America's Retirement Headquarters, home of the Retirement Guys formula and America's Medicare Associates with Scott Kirshner and Jeremy Baker. 419-794-3030 is the phone number. 419-794-3030, the website arhq.com. Let's talk about Medicare here, Scott. It seems that we're kind of in a lull here with the open enrollment period ending March 31st, the annual election period not starting up until October 15th. So in the meantime here, are there any options for somebody that might have a plan that's not working out like they thought, or they're having problems with providers of theirs being in network? Is there anything you can do to help them out?
Oh, absolutely, Chris. It's kind of like, the analogy I use is it's like the landscapers and the snowplowers, right? When haymaking is good. I grew up on a farm, and the old terms, you make hay when the haymaking's good, right? So, like a landscaper, when it's nice and warm out and you're able to do all of the landscape work outside, and then the snow comes and the snowplow guys are slammed. Well, it's kind of the same thing with Medicare, with a few differences, I should say, not option, but a few differences. During the AEP, that's the annual enrollment period. That's when you can make a change and review your plan, and then OEP is you make that other change. But what do we do now, right? I mean, we're in that lull. So here's what happens. You have options. People still turn 65 outside of those time frames, right? So if you're turning 65, you have the option to sign up for Medicare. You get 3 months prior, the month of, and 3 months after your 65th birthday. Now, where some exceptions come into play is if you are working past 65, because we do have a lot of people that work past 65, and they say, well, do I really need to sign up for Medicare? And we'll talk about that in another segment here later on in the show. But that depends. One of the things we want to look at is if you are working past 65, then we look at seeing how much is your employer plan going to cost you. So you do not have to sign up for Medicare if you have an employer plan. Like I said, I don't want to take any thunder away from our next segment because we're going to talk a little bit about that then. If you have a plan in place right now and you feel that that plan is not performing the way you expected it to perform, you do have a couple of options. Now, these are little known facts from the general public out there, right? Unless you're in the business like myself or Jeremy and some of the other guys here at the office, you really don't know some of these things. So I'm going to give you a little bit of tidbits, a little bit of insider information here. There are a couple of ways that you can actually make changes to your plan. One of those is if you are a veteran. So First, I want to thank all of the veterans for their service. We celebrated Veterans Day here, Memorial Day not too long ago. But in any case, one of the things that you have available to you is you can make a change to your plan anytime throughout the year if you are a veteran and using VA benefits. Okay, if you're 65 years old, you're a veteran, you can make a change to your plan. Another opportunity that you have is if you are dually eligible. So if you are Medicaid and Medicare eligible, that means dually eligible, and you want to make a change to your plan, you can make a change to that plan every 3 months. It's quarterly. Every 3 months you can make a change to that plan. But then there's another option available that a lot of people really don't know about. Those first two, a lot of people know about, but this is another option available. All of the insurance plans that are put in place are regulated by CMS. I've talked about this before. It's the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services, okay? And these plans are given star ratings. It's like the little gold star you got when you were in school. You did a great job, you get a little gold star. Well, it's the same thing with this, right? So CMS awards star ratings to these plans. If you are on a plan that is not a 5-star plan, the most stars you can get with an insurance plan is 5 stars, okay? So if you're on a plan that's not a 5-star plan, you're not happy with your plan, you want to make some changes to your plan, you can move to a 5-star plan anytime throughout the year.
That's good information.
Well, it is, because a lot of people just don't know that.
And I know I asked you this the other day, and I had a client that her husband she's a little bit older. Her husband just hit full retirement age and applied for Social Security, and he's still working. And she's covered with his plan. And I asked if it would be beneficial for her to even look at maybe, being on Medicare as opposed to his plan. Is there kind of benefits to doing that?
Absolutely, there are. It really depends on every individual situation, and that I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to push that question to our next segment,
Okay.
because I talk about employer plans a lot in that next segment. So one of the other thing I want to point out and keep in mind for you listeners out there is if you are, remember I asked a question about Social Security, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you are taking Social Security, you're automatically enrolled. But what if you're not taking Social Security? What do you do with Medicare? How do I get Medicare? Well, there's two options. And a couple of these options, one of them is probably not the best. The first option is you can contact your Social Security Administration office and schedule a phone interview, and they will enroll you in Medicare. Okay, it takes probably about 30 minutes. And just like the Social Security Administrative Office, they are not at liberty to give you advice on when to take. It's kind of like this. They're not really going to do anything other than assist you in enrolling in Medicare. That's for Part A and Part B. The other option you have, and this is where I come into play, and I can help you with this, is you can go online to the Social Security Administration website, and you can do an online application to sign up and enroll for Medicare. Now, one thing you must have in place, you must have a My Social Security account established. It's kind of amazing to me, Jeremy, the number of people that have, I ask them, do you have a My Social Security account? And they look at me like I've got three heads, right? They have no idea what I'm talking about.
Or they say, I haven't gotten a statement in the mail from them for, X amount of years.
Right, exactly. So creating that online account is a way that you can, you have to have that account created, and we can help with that. We actually, I'll sit right with you. If, a lot of people that come in that are, older seniors, they don't have computers at home, they don't use that technology. I can actually help you and assist you in creating that account. Then we do an online application, and then what happens from there is you'll get your Medicare card in the mail. So there are some options available during the off season for Medicare. If you want to learn more about any of these, obviously you can go to my website. It's americasmedicareassociates.com. I'm also on the arhq.com. Go out there, you can check and see any events that are coming up, because I talk a lot about all of these different options, all of these things that, these little nuances in these plans that people don't really know about. But keep in mind, if you're not on a 5-star plan, and in this area, there's only 2 companies that have 5-star plans in the Northwest Ohio area. And if you're not on one of those plans and you want to be, reach out to me, let me know how I can help you, and I'd be happy to get you on one of those plans if it fits your needs.
Again, you can go ahead and reach out by giving a call, 419-794-3030. It's 419-794-3030. You can go to arhq.com. Right there on the top, on the events tab there, you can find a list of all the upcoming events, which includes Medicare workshops being taught throughout the year, throughout the area. Find one that is convenient for you, and feel free to go to register. Again, that's at arhq.com.